Hello, my impatiens. It is I, Andrew the Android Koloski here. I am live and I'm ready to talk to all of you. I hope you will come joining and engaging with me. So I often feel like people are lying to me. I feel like people are deceiving me. But try to trust they're being honest and transparent with me. Try to accept there's no hidden realities. There's no deception. There's no secrets. Because, it just makes life easier. Um, it just makes life easier. All right. So I hope somebody will be at my beck and call and come joining here. But we got Bud in the house. How you doing, Bud? How art thou? What's up with you, Bud? Somebody asked, what evidence do you have that your parents, or anybody for that matter, is lying to you? And the evidence is just my suspicions. I just feel like it. And that's a delusion. That's a delusion. Hey, Peter, how you doing? Peter says, what's going on, man? Not much, Peter. Not much is going on with you. Not much is going on with me. And so try to accept I was not betrayed. And that's it. That's really it. Bud says, my owner won't give me catnip and I'm mad. Do you have any catnip for me? I guess Bud is a cat, apparently. Apparently, Bud is a cat. No, Bud, I don't have any catnip for you. Peter says, not much is going on with him. He's just waiting for dinner so he can hit the gym. Yeah, I work out typically early in the morning, but I guess if you work, you got to work out in the evening. I don't know, or you could go before work, I guess, but. All right. So I was asked, by my social worker today, why don't I want to call the SOAR program? And I said, well, obviously, graduating college with a bachelor is a lot more complicated than the SOAR program. I just feel like it will frustrate me. I feel like, but also I'm stuck in the same routine day after day. Maybe I'm a little lazy. Maybe I'm a little lazy. I know they say, you cry, you cry about how nothing's changing in your life, how you're living the same day over and over again, yet you do nothing to change your life. You do nothing to change your life. They say the SOAR program or even getting a part-time job is a good step towards changing your life. Peter says getting rich is better than those programs. Yeah, obviously. And I think part of the reason I don't go is because I think social media is my ticket to riches and fame, which is kind of a delusion of grandeur. They say your artwork, your videos, your social media content isn't that great. But, I think, Peter says this is probably not a ticket to riches and fame, but it's a good hobby, though. You're pouring your life down the drain. You don't have to give up your social media content entirely, but, obviously pursue it with moderation. Pursue social media in moderation. And obviously, I feel like I'm a winner. Maybe I don't. Maybe I feel like I'm a loser. But they say, look, on paper, your executive functioning, like on paper, like I think my social media is a gold mine. But they say on paper, look, you're sitting in your mother's house day after day. You have hardly any friends. You haven't had a romantic partner in years. You're a disabled adult child. You're not working. You haven't worked since 2011. That's like 15 years. And, you know, just because you think your social media content should make you a millionaire or a billionaire doesn't mean it should. I mean, the evidence is you're a disabled adult child who's got delusions. We got the Jungle Lady in the house. How you doing, Jungle Lady? How art thou? She says, Mr. Andrew lives. Yes, I do, Jungle Lady. Yes, I do. Mr. Andrew is live. She says, Mr. Andrews is a man. Yes, Mr. Andrews is indeed a man. I identify as male. So, yeah, my mother was away this past week. She was on vacation. She's back now, so I'm going to be eating healthy for the first time in a week probably. I think she's making salmon for dinner. I was getting a lot of fast food while she was away. Jungle Lady asks, why does your mom say all those things to you? I don't know. I guess she wants to convey her point. What is your perception? I mean, you read the text message exchange between us. What is your perception on our conversations? Who do you think is right, if anybody, or do you think we both have valid points and the truth is somewhere in between? Peter says salmon is good. Yeah, salmon's going to be a nice, yummy, delicious dinner. I can't wait to eat it. It's going to be coming soon. Yeah, salmon, yummy, yummy salmon. We all love salmon. Jungle Lady says, I think your mom is in love with you and wants you all for herself. That's an interesting take. Some people say we're codependent. So, obviously she needs my dependency on her and I need her to take care of me. So I don't know if she's really in love with me because it's hostile dependency. She yells at me for being a disabled adult child. And I hate being dependent on her, but I think there's some truth to that. I don't think it's love. I think it's actually hostile dependency, but Will says, I had to tell my mother enough is enough, and I had to become independent. Tom Porter says, hey, I'm surprised you don't have your shirt off or a tank top on. Yeah, I mean, I could take my shirt. I mean, Meva says, both you and your mother are dysfunctional. Ultimately, living there is keeping you stagnant. Yeah, somebody says you're hostily dependent on your mother. I'm hostily dependent on my mother. I guess somebody wants me to get in, go shirtless here. Anybody want me to take my shirt off? I mean, we could do a fitness check here. I don't know. Yay or nay? Will says, sure, all right. I'm kind of, we'll get into my underpants here. You know, it's, I'm going to do it off camera because, you know, obviously I don't want to have a wardrobe malfunction. Okay. All right. This is me. Let's lower the camera here. Somebody says, what is going on here? Well, I'm getting into my underpants because everybody wants a fitness check. So this is me. So I'm working out. I'm trying to run for 20 minutes. I'm taking a lot of walks. What do you think? Do you think I look handsome or not so nice? You know, somebody says, looking good, bro. And somebody says, my best feature is my buttocks. The $1 billion buttocks. Okay, my buns. All right, I'm going to put my clothes back on here. I'm going to put my clothes back on, off camera. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. All right, I'm back. Jungle Lady says Mr. Andrew needs to get Speedos. Yeah, I got a Speedo bathing suit actually. I wanted to wear it this summer, but there was really no ladies coming over my house. You know, I think I got a new bathing suit, and I wanted to wear it and show it off. I'll show you a picture of me in my new bathing suit from you know, about a month ago now. Yeah, well, about a month ago. Yeah, I wanted to wear this summer, but I never really got the opportunity. That's a Speedo bathing suit, by the way. Yeah, I wanted to wear it, but I wanted a sexy lady beside me while I was wearing it. Somebody says, good timing. Yeah, it's an underrated Beach Boys. It's an underrated Beach Boys song. Good timing. Good timing takes good timing. You need good timing. Now, somebody says it's a Speedo brand bathing suit, but somebody wants more of like the shorter and skimpier bathing suits. Somebody says you don't need the Speedo like that. You need more like bikini bottoms. All right, Jungle Lady. Fair enough. Brutus asks, what did you have to eat today? Well, dude, I'm going to be having salmon pretty soon. I'm going to be having salmon pretty soon. So somebody hinted at that, you know, somebody who might have regularly trolled my channel and been aware of my existence was Charlie Kirk. Is that true? Did Charlie Kirk watch me through social media, and was he aware of my existence? You know, like, hypothetically speaking, could Charlie Kirk have been... Somebody says, there's no way on earth Charlie Kirk watched you. You're just imagining things and coming to feeling... Brutus says, no, Charlie Kirk did not watch you, and anyone saying that is just trying to confuse you. And Giant Pickler says, you didn't even know who he was until the other day. Now, I'm thinking about maybe one of these users in my channel could have been Charlie Kirk undercover, like maybe the cyberbully from 2017, 2018. It's just a suspicion. Nobody has confirmed or corroborated it, but I mean, I didn't know much about Charlie Kirk. It's obviously my father was very sad about his death. My father knew who he was, but I didn't really know much about him. But it's very sad. I mean, he had a wife, he had children, and he was a controversial figure. But yeah, it's just tragic. I mean, it's just sad, But it's what are you going to do? It's I guess you punish the person who did it, right? I mean, obviously, you can't use a time machine and prevent it from happening. It's just tragic, really. Will says, I think you're self-inserting. What do you mean by self-inserting, Will? Giant Big Locker says Andrew was close to finding the hidden reality. All right. Somebody says, you are making yourself a part of the Charlie Kirk narrative because he's important right now. But really, there's no connection to you. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Somebody says the shooter will be tried in Utah, so he could get the death penalty and be shot by a squad of men with big sticks, big rifles. Yeah. Brutus says, hello. Hey, Brutus. How you doing? How you doing? Should I get alcohol tonight? It's been a while since I drank alcohol, but I also had a lot of coffee today, so I don't want to make my acid reflux bad. Should I get alcohol tonight? Yay or nay? Brutus says, it's Wednesday. Why would you drink on Wednesday? Wait till the weekend. 666 says, it's hump day. Why not? Get sloshed, buddy. Go get drunk tonight. Hey, it's something to do, but I mean, I probably should abstain from alcohol anyway. It's not good for me. Coffee's not even good for me, really, but something to do, right? Kind of bored. Kind of bored and got nothing to do. Somebody says, it's not like... 666 says, drinking out of boredom is a slippery slope. Somebody says, you love to sing, get a karaoke machine. Okay, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. All right. Somebody says, that's a great idea, Giant Big Ladder. All right. I mean, I guess. Brutus says, I want the best for you, man. You should see if alcohol interferes with any medication you take. Well, I take Abilify 10 milligrams. It probably interferes with that, but I think 1 or 2 shouldn't hurt. You know, I think that's what. Yeah. All right. I guess I'm gonna peace out here. Hit the bricks. Anybody got any last questions? I mean, what would you recommend I do to progress my life and stop being stagnant? Would you recommend going to the SOAR program, giving them a call, and like, what would you recommend I do to make my life happen? Because I'm just sitting here. I'm bored. I got nothing to do. Meva says yes. I'd recommend you call the SOAR program. 666 says any doctor would say alcohol should be avoided on medications like antipsychotics. Will says I suggest waking up and doing work. You will feel better. Jungle Lady says Andrew, don't take the path of Sanders. What does that mean? What does the path of Sanders mean? Let's Google that. What is the path of Sanders? What is the path of Sanders? Bernie Sanders is the path of Bernie Sanders. Josh Sanders, King Cobra, some guy who passed away. Okay. Yeah, the first thing that came up when I said path of Sanders was Bernie Sanders. I'm like, oh, okay. Tim says, rest in peace, King Cobra, JFS. Yeah, that's the alive, of age, consenting, non-biologically related. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, I'm not going to pass away. Hopefully I don't pass away. You never know. I mean, look, Charlie Kirk didn't think he was going to pass away and something happened. But, hey, I don't think I'm going to pass away tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. You never know. You never know, though. I mean, look, Charlie Kirk probably didn't think he was going to definitely didn't think he was going to die that day. And sure enough, he was assassinated. So it happens. It's sad because he was in his 30s. He was full of life and vitality. He had a family. He had a lot to live for. And you get some self-righteous lunatic who, it's too bad. But somebody says, King Cobra or Josh Sanders died from being a drunk dumbass. That was the exact cause of death. All right, 666, if you say so. If you say so. Somebody says, I figured. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, dude. R.I.P. R.I.P. King Cobra or Josh Sanders. La 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 la. All right. So I guess call the SOAR program tomorrow and maybe apply for work. Jungle Lady says she mourns friends that have passed away. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad that people die and get older. Hopefully, I'm around for many years to come, and my friends and family are around for many years to come. But people get older and they pass away, and sometimes they're assassinated when they're 30 years old. That could happen too. Somebody says, find some menial work and buy stocks and crypto. Okay, Peter. Okay. All right. So, any last questions here? I think I'm gonna get going. Jungle Lady, you have any last questions? If you were me, Jungle Lady, what would you do? What would you do to progress my life? What would you do to change my life? If you were me. So it says take the proper medication. Okay. I mean, everybody always says that. And Jungle Lady says you need more recovery for mental health. Somebody says, but number one is take medication. Okay, so focus on mental health recovery. And who knows, maybe I'll meet a sexy schizophrenic woman in the mental health community. We could have schizo love. Schizo love in the mental health community. Schizo love. That's the dream, to find the sexiest schizo woman there is and have some schizo love. That's the dream, guys. That's the dream. Milky asks, do you know what docking is? I think I do. Actually, interestingly enough, somebody once asked me. I mean, it's something that's a little spicy and adult in nature. Somebody once asked me, "You want to go docking?" And this is before I knew what it meant. The man, he asked me, "You want to go docking?" And I thought he meant fishing off the docks. Like, oh yeah, I'd love to go docking with you. But apparently, he was just being, a troll and perverted. And he's like, "You want to go docking?" And I said, "Yeah, I would love to go fishing off the docks with you." But apparently, that's not what it meant. It's the wrong docking. It doesn't mean like getting beers with the buddy and sitting on the docks and fishing. It means something adult and spicy. Somebody says, get some meds, have a normal life with a normal girl. Somebody says, also, you got to get money. Women like men with money. And, maybe I could go docking with a lady, a sexy lady. Her and I could go fishing off the docks. I think dinner's here. Hey, Mama, I'm on live, so don't say anything too controversial. Thank you for dinner.
You're welcome.
But I got some some plates.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. There you go, Mama.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. All right. All right. Fishing off the docks. So he says, don't go docking with your mother. You need to get independent from her. Don't go docking with your mother. Okay, first we got a salad here. All right. So this is healthy. It's greens, it's vegetables. I mean, I like healthy, right? So the time is 4:45 p.m. I'm like, shoot, why am I so tired? And the answer is because you got up at 5 a.m. You've been up for 12 hours. I'm like, oh yeah. That'll do it. What time does everybody get up and what time do they go to bed? Giant Big Hunter says he gets up at 7 a.m. and then he goes to bed at 1 a.m. Peter says he goes to bed at between 6:30 and 9 p.m. and he's up at 3 a.m. Will says he goes to bed at 1:30 a.m. and he's up at 8:30 a.m. Well, I don't know why I'm so tired. Maybe it's the Abilify. Maybe I'm dying. I don't know. I sleep a lot. I usually go to sleep around 7, 8 p.m. and I get up around 5 a.m. It's not a good habit. I'm going to stay out later. And my sleep schedule is pretty messed up too. Somebody says sleep is wicked important. Interestingly enough, during COVID, it was worse. There was like a stretch during COVID where I was like staying awake the nights and getting up. I was getting up at like 3 p.m. and I was awake till like I forget. I forget. But basically, the gist of it is I was awake the nights, and the days I was just sleeping. This is when we were on lockdown. Somebody says, "Are you naturally an insomniac without the Abilify?" What does insomniac mean? Somebody that sleeps a lot? So this is the opposite. I don't know. I guess to test that, I would have to come off the Abilify, but people say that's not a good idea. People say, please don't come off your medications, Andrew. We don't want you to go into full-blown mania. Yeah, don't do that. Somebody says, we don't want you to have a manic episode, Andrew. Somebody says, you're not even taking that much Abilify. Yeah. And this is the first healthy dinner I've eaten in a week. I'm really enjoying it. So, what are your guys' plans for the evening? You doing anything fun? Or just basically go? Peter says he's working out. It's always good to get a workout in, Peter. It's always good to get a workout in. Giant Big Letter says he's going to watch a movie. And play with his kids. That's good. Be an involved parent. That's a good thing. Does anybody think I'll be a father someday, or probably not? Giant Big Letter says, get on some meds and maybe you will. Peter says, why not? I think you could be a father, Andrew. You know, a normal life awaits. And there are people that are much bigger losers and more deadbeat than you. So, yeah, why not? You could be a father. Thanks, guys. Thanks. Somebody says, parenting is hard work. You can't even take care of like a little puppy. Somebody says, no, I mean, there's way worse people than you, Andrew. There's way worse people than you. Okay, fair enough. There's way worse people than you that are parents. All right, eating some salmon now. Oh yeah, I can feel like the good health and the cancer getting the free radicals getting fighted off. This is healthy. This is healthy. I could feel all the unhealthy, toxins in my body going away. What somebody's talking about a video. What video are you talking about, guys? Please elaborate on what you're talking about. Hmm. Somebody's talking about one of your uploads, Andrew. Okay, let the swallow go down. Mm-hmm. All right. So you think really the key to getting things getting better is just taking my medication? Somebody says, yeah, dude, just take your medication, but you don't need a mega regimen. Somebody says, I think the medication, a job, anything but the internet will help. Get off the internet. You're pouring your life down the drain online. You're wasting your life, Andrew. I remember my parents raised me to be kind of like a wild child, especially with how I ate. So I remember I used to horrify my friends. Like when my friends would come over my house or when I would go over theirs and I'd eat spaghetti or food, they would look at me and they'd be all grossed out because I didn't eat like a normal kid. I ate kind of like a wild child, you know. Which is you gotta learn etiquette and manners and how to eat more, you know, mature and civilized. Somebody says, "Were you taught manners?" I don't know. I guess so. Mm. That was a healthy dinner. Ugh. Kind of out of it now. I think I'm gonna lie down for a bit. Did you finish it? Well, there's just rice here. I finished all the salmon and salad. He says, "Eat your rice, Andrew. Eat your rice." You got to eat your rice, Andrew. Don't waste the rice. people in third world countries would kill to eat rice. They'd be like, Andrew, you're just throwing your rice out? We're starving. So he says, that will keep me running. Keep eating the rice. Just eat your rice, Andrew. Mm-mm-mm. Also, exercise can cause fatigue too. I deal. Well, Peter says, I'm actually shocked we don't have people rummaging through landfills for food. Actually, I think they say if you go if restaurants throw out a lot of food. So, but I think they say they pour bleach on the food at the restaurants throw out. But like, yeah, I mean, dumpster diving for food. I mean, like, go behind some of these restaurants, and they probably throw out a lot of food. I remember when I worked at Famous Dave's, they would throw out like an entire platter of ribs. Like somebody would eat one bite and throw out tons of food. You know, I'm like, wow. If I was a homeless person, I would hang out behind a supermarket, a restaurant. But they say they pour bleach on it, so the homeless people will get sick if they try to eat it, I think. Wait, do they really? I don't know if that's true or not. I'm making stuff up. I mean, but restaurants and supermarkets really do throw out a lot of food. Will asks, what would you do all day if you were homeless? I don't really know, Will. Hopefully I never have to be homeless. That was a yummy dinner. I ate it all. Guys. So she says, there's no trash rotting now. All right, guys, I think I'm going to lie down. I appreciate you for having watched. I hope you enjoyed my live stream. So he says, okay, see you later, guys. Peace out.